London Bangla interview with Michael Keith. Michael Keith served as council leader during 3 periods of office between 1994 and 2006. Welcome, Michael. Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
The controversy surrounding the selection of Lutfur Rahman, the Labour Party, has this been good for politics? Has this been damaging to the campaigns of individuals such as yourself?
I don't think it's been good for politics, and I think it's been damaging to the reputation of the Labour Party more generally. Really. I think people need to be fair and they need to be efficient. And what we need to see is a process that is both of those in all of the things the Labour Party does. And it's been a bit of a mess so far, and we need to be honest about that. We need to be honest with people about the difficulties around the money and actually share the decisions we make transparently with people out there. Where we make difficult decisions, we have to explain to people, work with people locally about how we're going to do that. But also we need to be smart about some of the solutions to problems. We need to bring people in who have ideas from the community. When I was leader before, and when I was lead for Regeneration, in the early 90s, we actually brought somebody that not many people in Tower Hamlets had heard of, called Mohammed Yunus, to come and advise about how you might develop community organisations to address poverty. Now we know he was a fantastic expert and won the Nobel Prize around the Grameen system. But we need, I'm not saying that that's going to be the solution to everything, but we need to be modest enough to ask for advice from people outside the borough, but also proud enough to work with community groups to address the difficult problems that we face. And thirdly, we need a visionary council. So the third principle, the third key commitment is to be visionary. Have a sense that whatever our diverse paths, the diversity of this place is its strengths. That people come from very different roots, very different backgrounds, rich and poor, black and white, Christian, Jewish, Islamic, different traditions of faith, different traditions of culture. That diversity is a strength when we recognise both the integrity of those different paths, but the fact that we must have a shared future. Our future is shared. You and I share this space, and we need to think about a collaboration across all communities that builds a future that is shared, that recognises the integrity of paths that are very different and very diverse. Those are the three commitments: a campaigning council, a smart council, and a visionary council. That's what I stand for.
What are the key qualities that people will look for when voting for a mayor?
I think there are a lot of different qualities. First and foremost, we need to recognise what a big office this is. If it was listed on the Financial Times 100 index, it would be one of the top 100 companies in Britain by size, Tower Hamlets Council. It's £1 billion a year. If we're going to have that kind of scale of organisation run by a mayor, we need to make sure that somebody is competent, that they are able to actually run an organisation of several thousand people and millions, £1 billion a year budget turnover. So competence is very important. Integrity is important, and principles are important in terms of making sure that when we run the council, we run it efficiently, but according to a set of values. And the values I stand for are those of equality, cooperation, of association, of trying to recognise that some people do much better than others in society, and we need to address the needs of those people that lose out. We need to have a set of values that informs the council, as well as competence in the way we run it. What that means, if you think about Tower Hamlets, the mayor has to be as comfortable on Brick Lane as they are on the Isle of Dogs. They have to be comfortable in the boardrooms of those glass towers just over there, negotiating the toughest deal for Tower Hamlets people. And I think I've got the ability to do that. I come from roots in this part of London. My mum was actually born in the Royal London Hospital. Her dad worked on the river in Wapping for 40 years. I taught at Queen Mary in the 1980s, and I've lived in the same place in Batty Street, just near the Burner Estate in Commercial Road, for the last 25 years. So I've been here a long time. But also I spent a lot of my early years when I was here working with community organisations, voluntary organisations, largely among the Bangladeshi community as it happens. So working with organisations like the Community Action for Police Accountability with young people who got into trouble with the police, working as a board member of Dame Collett House in the 1980s as well. So most of my politics comes out of the community sector and the voluntary sector. And it's important for the mayor to be close to the community, I think, as well as being able to negotiate hard with partners and run £1 billion a year organisation.
If you have the good fortune of being selected as the Labour Party mayoral candidate, how do you see yourself working? Do you intend to work with your own party colleagues and also with cross-party colleagues from different parties?
I think both of those things are important. I've only ever belonged to one party. In Tower Hamlets, there's sometimes a tradition that people move one party to another. I've been in the Labour Party 30 years, so I think I know what the Labour Party's like. And I know that it's fantastic in some ways, and it does things wrong in other ways. So we need to be honest about both of those things. But the reason I'm a member of the Labour Party is because of the set of values that I think it represents. And closest to my heart are the values that are about doing the best by the people that lose out most, making sure that we try to move towards a more equal society, a fairer society, and a more inclusive society. So I'm proud to belong to the Labour Party, but I'm also honest enough to say that the Labour Party's done lots of things wrong. I was opposed to the war in Iraq. I marched against the war in Iraq. There are things the Labour Party's done wrong, not always addressing the needs of all communities, whether in Tower Hamlets or other parts of the country. We have Roshnara Ali, first Bangladeshi MP, a fantastic MP, very hard-working, very intelligent, very gifted. We have Jim Fitzpatrick, who's served this area for a long time as well. We have representation in regional government, at the GLA, and in European government as well. So we have a strong Labour team. We have councillors, and some of the councillors that know their areas, they know their wards, they know their communities. They are real resources to a mayor. All of that provides a strong Labour team. But, as I said a second ago, we need to recognise that Labour isn't the whole story of Tower Hamlets. It's not about representing just your people. We need to make sure that we represent all of the communities of Tower Hamlets.
What singles you out as an exceptional Labour Party mayoral candidate?
I think I do have the greatest ability to move between those different worlds that make up the diversity of Tower Hamlets. I think I am as comfortable on Brick Lane as I am down on the island. I have family roots here, as well as strong connections with the communities, not just the Bangladeshi community and some of the other parts of multicultural East End, the Irish community, the African Caribbean community, the smaller communities, but there I have links across the different communities of the borough. That's one point. I have a greater facility to move between those worlds. Second point is I have done this before. I ran the council and turned it around with a team. When I first became leader in the early 1990s, Tower Hamlets Council was a joke. Over 10 years, we turned it from being a basket case to a showcase. It was thought of as a very poor council in the early 1990s. By the early 2000s, not just myself, but with a team of people, and I was the leader for, as you say, for many years during that time, we actually managed to win awards for the best children's services in the country, the best social services in the country, the best partnership working in the country, the best working around community cohesion in the country. So we won numerous awards and we became recognised as a well-run local authority. To do that, you need competence, firmness, and a sense of taking strategic decisions and difficult decisions at difficult times, and I've done that in many ways. And the third point, I think, is that I have shown that I can have a career outside politics as well as inside politics. At the moment, I'm a professor at the University of Oxford, and I have had, without being boastful about it, a reasonably successful academic career. And so people out there know that I'm not just a professional politician. I have worked in education. I care passionately about education. And I've demonstrated that over a career of 30 years at the University of Queen Mary, as Professor at Goldsmiths College in South London, and I'm now Professor at the University of Oxford. So I've shown a degree of competence that is outside the political world, as well as a degree of competence inside the political world. I think those characteristics make me eligible to be mayor. I would suggest that she make me the strongest candidate to be mayor.
We wish you the very best of luck. Thank you very much.
Much.
Michael Keith served as London Gateway Partnership Chairman between the period of 2000 and 2006, a position now filled by Baron Charles Falconer, the former Lord Chancellor. The programme has been described as the single most modern regeneration programme in Europe. The Labour Party membership are fortunate that amongst their list of candidates they will have 3 former leaders to choose a mayoral candidate from. Emdad Rahman, London Bangla, Bilingual Weekly, London.